Hey everybody, here we are with Adrienne Wilkinson, and she is one of the stars of the upcoming uh, film Dreamcatcher. Adrienne, how are you today?
Whew, I am doing well. I am excited to be talking about this picture and, incredibly happy to be up this early.
I know. Well, it's show business, baby. So,
Exactly.
so talk to me about this project. How'd you get involved?
The truth is, my involvement was fast and furious at the last second. Most of the cast had been part of the project for about a month, and apparently something happened with a location. So, something they intended to film 2 or 3 weeks in the future, they suddenly had to film immediately because a location switch. So the casting became immediate, and the casting director reached out to me, knowing my work and thinking that I fit the character. I read it and freaked out. It was amazing. This character is described as even saying this makes me so happy. The character is described as Coco Chanel meets Elizabeth Bathory. so, so, so she's gonna murder you, but she's gonna do it looking really, really good. so it was a giant yes for me. So I jumped on board immediately, and I was offered the job probably 11 p.m. at night, and I was on set about 2 p.m. the next day. So it was crazy. Yeah, and a
Wow.
giant monologue that first day. So it was intense, but I had the fashion to support my performance.
Yeah, so you got handed the script and you guys shot chronologically, I guess. You had that first monologue.
uh, I'm actually not sure what happened outside of my days. I know that most of my material shot chronologically. So I assume that all of the footage did.
Wow, that's awesome. So, what I was watching it and I was like, okay, what 90s horror icons were you kind of channeling for Josephine? Because I was picking up a
Oh,
few, but
I so wish that I was smart enough to have been doing exactly that, but I cannot say that I was. If anything, I was kind of maybe sort of giving a little Devil Wears Prada sort of thing, like just the absolute, you want to look fly. But this is what's amazing about Josephine. What I describe her as is an axe. She's an axe that walks into the room beheading people. Just anybody that she doesn't like, anybody that's making her pissed off, she just devastates them verbally and or other ways, but just makes them feel horrible about themselves, which of course makes her a lovely human being. It actually does make her fun to play, even though she's not someone you would want to be in a room with. So it was delicious.
I was personally really I was like, wow, when when she's sitting there sipping wine at noon,
Mm.
and I was like, okay, yes, yes, there
Well,
she is.
my favorite part about that is it's not her house. She's just living in Dreamcatcher's house as if it's hers. That's the best part. She's just like, he's really an extension of me. So I'm just, she's like a succubus. She's just, absorbing anything that she can get her claws into. So yeah, I love that. She's like, this view, this house, this wine, it's all mine. So yeah.
So, is there anything she wouldn't do for her clients or anything like that?
Uh, it seems like, now granted, some of this is just alluded to, but it really seems like she's done just about everything. One of the delicious parts of this movie is it's a who done it. And I mean, Josephine is she's a good candidate because you definitely don't trust her moral compass. So
Well, yeah, essentially, she will pretty much do whatever in order
yes.
to,
Oh, exactly. Exactly. Because for Josephine, I think it's a dual motivation of money and power. So if you're in the way of something that could make her more powerful, oh, you're dead to her, whether that's literally or figuratively. But equally, if there's just anything that could bring her money, I mean, I kind of picture Josephine as being incredibly she's like a real tightwad in my mind. She doesn't like to spend money unless it's someone else's. She just likes to hoard it like a dragon in a her den, sitting on her golden egg.
What is for Josephine? What would be the most important thing? Would it be power, money, or reputation?
Oh, I don't think she cares at all about her reputation as long as she has power and money. And I think she sees money as power. So I guess in the end, by deduction, that power is her number one. So yeah.
Excellent. So are you into EDM music? Did you follow that world, or was this something new to you?
This is so foreign to me. I've been to an EDM club one time, which actually was after the filming of this movie. And it was a friend's birthday, and a group of us went. And I took video of it. I was so amazed because there's a DJ with, pretty groovy music happening, and a jam-packed dance floor of nobody moving, just people like stoned out of their gourds, not moving, or just really, like fascinated with other things that were happening around them. So, I mean, I obviously cannot say this is anything but a one-off experience. So I don't mean to say this is what things are like.
You're not
I'm saying this is
generalizing,
what
but
my one experience was like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I was checking out your resume on IMDb, and you have some amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Like, you were on Xena.
Yes. I played Xena's daughter, which only makes sense in the world of fantasy, because in real life, Lucy Lawless had a baby. But of course, you don't want to be dragging a baby around the woods, which is what that show was, just fighting in the woods all the time. So they had to figure out how to deal with that. And what they did was a 25-year jump in history where she was frozen in an ice cave, as happens, of course.
Well,
So
as one does, yes.
as one does. So she wakes up 25 years later, of course, looking exactly the same. And here I am with a lot of anger issues about my mother abandoning me. So, it's a fun romp.
Oh my God, that was, yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, cool. She worked with Lucy Lawless.
Yes, it really couldn't be cooler. I mean, she's amazing.
Yeah. Are you a horror fan yourself or no?
I love a good thriller. Hack and slash movies, I'm less into. And it's actually because of this really freaking weird thing about me where Creepshow 2 filmed in the town I was living in years ago. I mean,
Ah,
yeah, I was a tiny kid, like way too young to watch a horror movie for sure. But my parents owned this little motel at the time in this little town, and the crew stayed in the motel. And it was like the special effects guys and the prop guys, and I mean, they would have like dead bodies around that were props that they were using for the film, that they were just like sitting on the porch swing outside. So I got
sure.
this sort of firsthand experience of like, oh, the fiction of filmmaking when I was something like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old. And it was just a weird situation, but it gave me this lack of fear of horror movies. So when I watch horror movies, I'm not necessarily having the same experience. It's like my mind automatically goes to, how did they make that look real? Is that a puppet? Is that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You'd already peeked behind the curtain, and
see, that's beautifully put. That's exactly it.
yeah. I don't know, maybe this is too specific. Do you remember what segment they were shooting?
Oh, I have it. They weren't shooting when they were there. This was just at the motel where they were like getting ready for their days.
Right.
So it would literally be like, hey, we need some towels. And I would bring some towels over. And I'm not joking, this is a thing that happened, on the bed was a dead body. And I was like, hmm.
You're like,
Yeah, no, completely. But like your mind, like your synapses are firing. Like, should I be freaked out? The guy seems really nice. He's been living here a month. I'm not sure what to do with this information. you know?
oh my God, that's hilarious. That is
Yeah,
so
pretty
funny.
crazy.
So, as a female creator in the industry, what are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced?
uh, as a creator in the industry of any gender, I would say financing and just navigating the whole thing is tricky for anybody, no matter who you are. Uh, one of my favorite things about being in the industry right now is that there is this delicious thing that's happening with female stories, and particularly mature female stories. And this is not horror specific, but just across the board.
Right.
And I think if you look at the last 2 years, some of my favorite performances have been these jaw dropping, phenomenal showcases of these mature women.
Mm.
Things like Judith Light in Transparent. I mean, she was
Oh, so good.
amazing, like amazing. And I just saw something maybe 2 weeks ago or something. It just came out called The End, which has Harriet Walters in it.
Mhm.
And Harriet Walters, forgive me if this is completely wrong, but I'm going to guess she's mid 70s, something like that. And she's naked in this thing a lot. And it's so satisfying to see her just own this character and this experience and to just not give a rip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just really incredible. And that kind of thing is something that, even 5 years ago would just be unheard of, to have that much attention paid to a mature female story. So it really excites me because we all know these juicy women in our lives that uh, maybe have passed the point of the focus of, say, seduction in some ways, not necessarily appropriately, but just as a cultural norm. But they have all of this. I mean, they're just lionesses, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? There's just so much to offer. So I guess that's what I look at when that's where I try to keep my focus, is on the ways that things are opening up that are delicious and satisfying, instead of focusing on the ways that it's tricky, because it's tricky for everybody. And
Mm.
it's just, the industry is a weird machine that is changing so fast that nobody knows what's happening. I
Well,
mean,
and with
just
the pandemic thrown in, it's like, whoa, whoa, you
yeah,
know.
exactly. We're all just sort of like looking for a seat belt to attempt to buckle to get through this thing, you know?
You know what I would like to see is just a Josephine movie. Um,
Yes, please count
just
me in for that.
just
Yeah.
just just another who done it
I
where
am so into it. I would love the idea of like how Josephine became Josephine, because they don't ever allude to her history. So you wonder how she got started, who screwed her over that she's like revenging thematically in her life, or was she just born a sociopath? Who knows?
I I would like to believe it's a little bit of both, but
Ooh, I like it.
yeah.
Ooh.
So, what advice can you give other up and coming creators or in the industry, people in front of or behind the camera, uh, right now from the position that you're in?
Trust your skill. Don't let somebody else who's maybe not into what you have to offer make you feel that it's not worthy, because they just might not be your audience of whatever your skill is or whatever your story is to tell. If you have something that you feel is worth telling, find a way to tell it for yourself and for a potential audience. I say trust what lights up for you. So that's material, that's people, that's projects, that's inspiration that leads you to other things. I think just trusting that instinct is invaluable. And I would say know who you are, because it is an industry that tries to push you into categories. They like to categorize you, they want to know who you are from their perspective. But if you have more information that is juicier and more interesting than the way they want to see you, stick to your guns. Just know who you are and celebrate it. And that invites other people to do the same.
That's a good rule for life in general.
Yes,
So,
high five.
so okay, that's all I have right now. Um, but I I I got to tell you, I had a lovely time interviewing you. Thank you so much.
I love it so much. Let's do it again.
Okay, get on the Josephine movie for goodness sake,
Exactly. Hello, Jacob. What's up?
bro. Okay, all right. Well, thank you again so much, and best of luck on your release.
Oh, thank you so much. Have a good one.
Okay, bye.